everybody. Today I'll be going through a bit of an FAQ at Luminar AI, which is Skylum's latest release in the Luminar series. So we're going to do a bit of a run through on what I know about it from the various meetings that I've been to discuss this program. We'll be doing that right after this. All right, thanks for staying with me, everyone. So as I said, we're going to have a look at Luminar AI, what we know about it, and a bit of an FAQ based on information that I've been provided by Skylum through some of the meetings that I've been to around Luminar AI. But as I said, I'll go through what I know so that we can get a better understanding of what Luminar AI actually is. So what is Luminar AI? It's basically an AI-powered photo editor from Skylum. So it's not an update to Luminar 4. It's basically a completely new version that's been rebuilt from the ground up, which brings new features, much greater performance, and quite a few changes. At its heart, Luminar AI is basically trying to bring a new approach to photo editing. It's trying to make life easier by simplifying those really repetitive tasks and incorporating AI to make your life easier. So things like masking, general edits, those sorts of things can be enhanced by AI basically. So it's not a set and forget tool. I've seen a lot of suggestions around AI replacing photo editors, as in the person. That, as far as I understand, is not the purpose of this tool. The purpose of this tool is really more about giving people more control to choose what they want to do. So some of that control will be, you can choose fast AI tools if you just want to focus on the results and not the process itself. So you could choose full AI tools, take the suggestions that it gives and then just go with it. You could use the suggestions that it provides for inspiration and then change the way that it's edited your photo or add your own looks and filters and bits and pieces to your image. Or you could take an in-between approach or just, edit the photo as you will without using AI at all. So Luminar is reported to act as a standalone program or a plugin as well. So what is Luminar AI? It's an AI-powered photo editor, as I said. Because it's AI-powered, the system requirements have changed, so it is worth seeing if your system will support this photo editor or not. And that information you can follow through the links that I'll put in the description. Some changes: Mac OS version 10.12 is not supported. Windows 7 and 8.1 are also not supported. So it does need Windows 10, and it can be used as a plugin for Lightroom Classic from version 6 onwards, Photoshop from version CS5, or Photos for Mac OS. So let's have a look at a teaser that Luminar have provided. So how is Luminar AI different from Luminar 4? As I previously discussed, it is a rebuild from the ground up. So it contains a new AI engine, which is designed to make it faster. and improve performance fairly significantly from the demos that I've seen. But they're obviously ideal scenarios, so yeah, we'll have to see what it looks like when we can put our own photos in it. So it includes many of the existing AI tools that are already in Luminar 4, but they've also added a few additional ones. So there's a Sky AI, which is actually version 2, which is reported to be coming in 2021. So I'll show you a little bit about that later. There's Portrait AI, which includes Face AI, Body AI, and Iris AI. There's Atmosphere AI, and there's also Composition AI, which is really about helping crop images based on what it understands. So one important note is that the catalog can't be migrated from Luminar 4 to Luminar AI. So who's this actually designed for? Well, for a lot of people, they'll be aware that this is a change in direction. Luminar 4 was initially marketed and designed as a Lightroom replacement. Now, Skylum have basically said that that's not the direction that they want to go, and Luminar AI is a new direction. This is not designed to be a Lightroom replacement. It's designed to simplify editing. It's designed to let people focus on the results rather than all the various steps that you need to get there. So it's really for visual communicators, bloggers, those who want to save time taking their photos and editing them. It's designed for those who want to solve problems with their images fairly quickly and easily. And it's also designed for, as I said, those who really want to focus on the results rather than the process and the steps that they need to take to get to that end point. It's very much results driven, not process driven. Now, it is important to note that although this is designed to simplify your life in terms of photo editing, it isn't designed for you to give up full creative control. It's not a one slider, photo lima, no edits tool. You know, you can change the way that filters are applied and you can add your own edits to it. You can go a full manual edit, or you can go AI powered, or somewhere in between. So you don't need to sacrifice full creative control. The AI is really designed to make your life easier. And that's really the heart of Luminar AI, is how can your life be made easier using AI to add intelligence to your creative vision. So in terms of the workflow, Luminar AI does quite a few different things. As I said, it's powered by AI, and under the hood, what it's actually trying to do is analyze your photos to understand that image based on the color, based on the type of photo. Is it a portrait, a landscape, a macro? And based on what it understands of that photo, it will offer template suggestions on what it thinks might enhance your image based on the type of image it understands and a whole range of other sort of metrics. They suggest 3 major workflows. The first is that Luminar AI suggests templates and you can apply them directly, export your image, and you're done. So that's for people who really don't want to worry about editing. They just want to get the best out of their photo as quickly as they can, and they don't care what edits are made. They just want it to look good. So maybe an Instagrammer or a blogger or someone like that might want that kind of approach. The second is that you can let Luminar AI suggest templates to you. Maybe you need a bit of inspiration on what your photo could look like. So it makes suggestions on templates. You can apply and adjust the settings of those templates and add your own edits as well. So it becomes a starting point, and you then build up and apply your own filters and your own bits and pieces to that image. So the very last workflow is not to use the templates at all. As discussed, you don't have to give up creative control. You may have a certain workflow that you want to go through. You may want to apply all your own filters and not worry about templates. And you can still do that. You can still do the manual photo editing, or you can apply the AI tools manually through filters and not worry about the templates and all of those sorts of things. So It's really up to you how you edit it, but they're the three sort of suggested workflows from what we understand. So to give a bit of an idea on templates, what you'll see here is a landscape image. And basically what it's done on the left-hand side, I believe, is the before, and on the right-hand side is the after. But I really want you to see on the right-hand side of the image, you'll see a for you and a creative landscape. Now, what this is doing is this is looking at the image and understanding that, okay, this is a landscape and it's either sunrise or sunset or something similar. I think sunset in this case. So it's suggesting, okay, it's a creative landscape. What are some of the templates that it thinks might apply to this image? And as I said, you can pick those and apply them, or you can apply your own edits, use them for creative vision, whatever you need to do. But it's designed to make your life easier by giving you suggestions on what might work for that sort of image based on what it understands. So as I said, there's quite a few AI tools that are coming at the release and some later on down the track. So Sky AI version 2 is one that's reported in 2021. So I've only seen images of what this can purportedly do. I haven't seen it work myself, but what Sky AI version 2 is trying to do that's a little bit different to Sky AI version 1 is that it works with reflections. So it can mirror the sky in reflections to make it more realistic. That was something that you had to do manually with Sky AI version 1. So there's also the portrait AI tools, face AI, body AI, and iris AI. And then there's atmosphere AI and composition AI. Sky AI version 2 is on the right hand side here, version 1 is on the left. So what you'll see, the difference between them is that it has identified that the sky needs to be mirrored, and based on that, it's mirroring the sky into the reflection for a more realistic look. Now that wasn't done automatically in Sky AI version 1, and you would have to mirror the sky and mask it down the bottom. So Sky AI version 2 is designed to make it look more realistic using AI to do that masking for you. So there's also body AI. And now this is a bit of a controversial one, as are all of the portrait AI tools. But really what body AI is trying to do is it's trying to enhance the body, so do some light sculpting, those sorts of things on the image. So when you look at this, other than the general lightening of the photo and the looks and stuff that's been applied, what it's done is it's done some slimming to her body. So it's automatically masked and done some slimming. Now, I don't have a photo of what it's done to a guy, but that is something I have asked. But there's also iris AI. Now, this is a really interesting one because what iris AI is doing is it's masking the eyes and the iris, and it's allowing you to lighten the eyes. It can do a whole range of other things as well, like change iris color and all of those things very quickly and very easily, which saves you having to do the masking and all of that sort of work. Now, I must admit, I don't do a lot of portrait work, so this one's probably a little bit wasted on me, but you can see that at least in the demo they've provided, it has made a pretty significant difference to the iris, and it's just brought the color out and made it pop. So the next one that I've got is atmosphere AI. Now, taking landscapes, this is one that does excite me a little bit because I think it's a really interesting concept. So what atmosphere AI is designed to do is it's designed to try and understand the photo and basically do an AI-powered depth map. And what that does is it helps it understand the depth in the photo, so that it can apply mist, fog, those sorts of looks, but it can change the transparency so that the mist or the fog that's further away is less transparent to what's really close. And that's, a really exciting tool if you want to create a new mood for your photo or something like that, but give it that realistic look where it's, quite transparent and easy to see through up close, but further away, it gets darker and harder to see through, which is what you would expect. All it's doing is it's using AI to help mask, but also to work out depth map to work out, okay, where should I make it transparent and where shouldn't it actually be transparent? So in terms of when is it being released, there isn't a specific date that's set yet, but we have been told that it's slated for holiday season 2020. We don't know exactly when that is. It's suggested probably December to late December somewhere, and certainly as more information becomes available, I'll be able to share that with you. So it's currently open for pre-orders, and I'll put the link in the description below if you are interested in finding more about it. I'll also put a link to my website where I've done write-ups and more in-depth looks at some of the tools that they're suggesting. So I hope you found this useful. I apologise that there's not a lot of information I have yet. As I said, it's still fairly new. I haven't seen it other than some very brief demos and the before and after photos. But once a version becomes available to me to show you, I'll do that as soon as I can and share my experiences with you. Until then, thanks for watching.
Never slow till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in.